Hi, this is Mike O'Brien, Senior Editor of Multichannel Merchant. Same-day delivery is a topic that you might know is getting a lot of attention lately with companies like Google, Amazon, eBay, and Walmart and others all looking for a piece of the action. And to follow that, BI Intelligence, which is Business Insider's industry research service, has recently completed a report on the growing market for same-day delivery, estimating that roughly $100 million worth of merchandise will be delivered same-day this year, with the market realizing a compound annual growth rate of 154% over the next 5 years, surpassing $4 billion by 2018. So we're going to talk today to Cooper Smith, who's a senior analyst at BI Intelligence, about the report and its findings. How are you doing today, Cooper?
Great. Thanks for having me on. Okay,
great. So the first thing we want to talk about is this projection that you have is pretty significant over the next number of years. And how did you arrive at that projection and the results?
Well, we spoke, first thing, I mean, as a research service, we speak with a lot of people in the marketplace. And there's a lot of companies that are doing same-day delivery now. So we spoke with people from Google, Uber, eBay, Amazon, these companies that are really rolling these services out at a fast pace. We also analyzed population and age data from the U.S. Census, and then identified the cities where we think same-day delivery services are most likely to succeed, because right now they're really focused on urban areas. And we factored in assumptions such as the average number of same-day orders per year, the average order value of the purchases with same-day delivery, and also the average delivery fee.
Okay, and do you see same-day delivery as largely or even exclusively an urban phenomenon? Do you see it going out to, like, suburbs or even rural, or just pretty much an urban phenomenon?
We think it's going to be an urban phenomenon for now. I mean, 1 in 5 consumers who live in a metro area said that they would be willing to pay a premium for same-day delivery, and that's far more than the number of people in suburban or rural areas who said that they would pay a premium for such a convenience. But I think the big reason why urban dwellers are more likely to pay for same-day delivery services is because they're more exposed to them. The delivery model being used by Google, Amazon, and other companies requires a lot of resources, such as a fleet of delivery trucks. You need staffers who can drive the trucks. So, with that sense, they have to deliver multiple packages in a very small area in a very fast amount of time. And so, when you consider the cost of gasoline, delivery drivers' time, it's very expensive, and that's why a lot of these companies are focusing on urban areas.
Okay, great, thanks. And obviously the fact that people can just walk into a store and get what they want down the street anytime is an advantage that brick-and-mortar stores have over e-commerce in a lot of regards. And now this is changing obviously with same-day delivery. So how much should brick-and-mortar retailers be concerned about same-day, and what are they doing to address this trend?
It's a great question, Mike. I mean, historically, consumers are right. If they wanted to purchase something, they could go to a store, and that was the fastest way to get it. That advantage is now crumbling. Google, Amazon, eBay, Uber, and others can now deliver goods that are purchased online just as quickly, if not quicker, than it would take for someone to go to a store. So yes, bricks and mortars, they should be concerned. But some retailers are realizing this. Walmart, for example, it's the largest retailer in the U.S. It has a huge infrastructure of stores, warehouses, and it's now experimenting with using its own same-day delivery service.
Okay. And how willing are consumers in that key demographic that you identified, 18 to 36-year-olds, willing to pay a premium for same-day delivery? And how does that preference bode well for the future growth of same-day?
It bodes well. I mean, you're right. This is really the key demographic, millennials, which are people ages 18 to 36. That we find being really the core customer demographic for same-day delivery. In some survey data that we were looking at, this demographic is far more likely to pay for same-day delivery. And considering how delivery fees are really the most logical way for same-day services to stay in business over the long term, retailers offering same-day delivery services are really focusing on targeting that younger demographic. And specifically, when we really dove deeper into the numbers, we found that not just millennials, but the affluent millennials, those who earn $150,000 a year or more, are even 10 percentage points more likely to use these services than the average millennial.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think it's, or what were your findings as far as more affluent, not just that demographic, but more affluent people in that demographic are more likely to take advantage of these services? Just because the fact that they're paying a premium for that delivery?
Right. Well, I mean, higher income consumers have more discretionary spending at their disposal, right? So, I mean, therefore, they're more likely to pay for conveniences such as same-day delivery. But also, I think a lot of young millennials who are gathering in cities, they grew up in the digital age and they're getting accustomed to buying things online, to be online shoppers. And so, all those factors together, that seems to be why they're the core customer demographic here.
And what about in other demographic categories? What kind of demand were you seeing? In older age brackets?
Right. So as I said, I mean about 1 in every 4 millennials said that they would pay a premium for same-day delivery. And with the other demographics, we found that only 13% of Gen Xers, those are people ages 37 to 48, would pay a premium for same-day delivery. And fewer than 10% of baby boomers said that they would. Those are people who are ages 49 to 67. And only 1% of people who are 68 and older said that they would pay for same-day delivery. But even like other types of demographic factors, such as men, I mean, men are more likely to use same-day delivery services than women are. And then also we found that, again, 1 in 5 urban dwellers would be willing to pay a premium for these services.
Okay. And then the last question, what are the barriers to same-day delivery, and how hard is it to make this profitable? A lot of talk about Amazon is that they're kind of, getting killed on these costs to expand out their network, and they're, not seeing a profitability. So how can companies, what are the barriers to doing this, and how can companies do this profitably?
Right. I mean, same-day delivery it's not entirely new, right? I mean, people who were around in the 1990s, they would remember Webvan, which, famously went bust just because it couldn't make the model work. The cost and complexity of same-day delivery has made the service extremely hard to scale. Fulfillment and logistics costs are high and quickly eat into profit margins. This is why businesses offering same-day delivery services are so focused on those dense markets. In addition to that, I mean, even shoppers are willing to pay an extra for same-day delivery, but they're not willing to pay much for it. The average cost that someone is willing to pay for same-day delivery is just $5 added onto the cost of the purchase. So these are really niche services. And there's very few instances where someone will pay for same-day delivery. Usually it's because they're strapped for time, they need a last-minute gift. And so it could be that some of these services will end up finding that they might only be able to make money during the holidays or during other times of year when there's really a rush of shopping. That's something that eBay's actually even thought about doing.
Okay, great. Well, listen, Cooper, really appreciate you taking the time today and walking us through the results of your research and providing the insights. So thanks.
Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Okay, take care.